Welcome back, everybody. Final half hour of our show on this Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. We got Vikes football tomorrow. Plenty of good stuff. We'll get you ready for what to watch for both today and the upcoming sports weekend. Good sports weekend on tap. We'll do that coming up here in about 20 minutes. I just went down the rabbit hole of that last segment of looking at the top games that Mike picked here, and there are some dynamite ones. The Central Michigan game in 2007, I was anchoring that night as well. I think we led our newscast with that. The Bison won by 30 over a team that won the MAC. 44-14. They won. As I look on this list for our next guest, he's been involved in countless ones. I look at number 69 on the list is NDSU's win over Towson. That was Sam Ojuri's last game as a Bison. Scored a couple touchdowns as NDSU won a third straight national championship. He's involved in one of the very best games ever played in the history of the Fargo Dome, the Bison win over Georgia Southern in 2012. He scored a long touchdown run, I think 53 yards in that game, in the Bison 23-20 win over Georgia Southern. We found out the news in February that when Randy Hedberg announced that he was retiring and there was some restructuring of the Bison offensive staff. Joe Bishoner then became the QB coach. Dan Larson was moving from the offensive line room that he was going to coach he was going to be the offensive coordinator. And the previous job, Jake Landry was the offensive coordinator, was the running backs coach. So that job was open. And Tim Polisic didn't hesitate in hiring a guy he used to coach in Sam Ojuri, who had spent the last handful of years with Brock Spack at Illinois State. He comes back to his alma mater at a really interesting time. He got to coach Marty Brown for about a month as Marty decided to enter the transfer portal and leave after his Jerry Rice award-winning season a year ago to go to the University of Miami. They were active in the portal after spring ball wrapped up. They added DJ Scott, a transfer out of Kennesaw State. They added Cortez LeGrant, a transfer out of the University of Minnesota. Barry Pennu they added as a transfer out of Rochester Community Technical College. It's Barika Pennu's younger brother. Barika's back. They added Miles Mitchell, a true freshman. Owen Johnson's back after missing the last 18 months. So it's a really different-looking running back room as opposed to this time last year. I had a chance to visit with Sam about taking over this job, what it means to be back in Fargo, and what can we expect out of the running backs the Bison have in 2025. Let me start first with just seeing you two converse. It seems surreal. You guys were teammates not that long ago. Now you're coaches here.
It is kind of surreal. You know, actually, we were working out earlier. It was me, LJ, and Marcus Williams, and we were doing an old workout, one of Coach Kramer's old workouts, and it was just kind of reminiscing those times. But it's really cool to be around former players, and we've obviously had a lot of special moments together. It's cool that we're all here and we're bringing it back.
I know it was one thing during spring ball, but now it's fall camp. Is it now clicked like I'm back? It's here. It's happening.
Yeah, at times every day when I'm sitting with the staff, which is an unbelievable staff every day, and it's the same offense I played in, so much comfortability, and to be a running back in this offense, it's just so much gratitude to be here.
Feel like full circle? I know we talked when you got the job about trying to get your way back here. You just have to maybe pinch yourself a little bit that this is actually, you manifested it. It happened.
Yeah, no doubt. This is a goal of mine to be back, to be a Bison. It's always in my DNA. But yeah, there's a little bit of full circle. Came here as a young man, kind of grew. Now, I'm a father with 3 kids. I'm married with a wife now, and everything's good. We're really enjoying Fargo.
Just second time around, what do you appreciate more being back now that maybe you didn't when you were a player?
Well, no doubt. I definitely appreciate Fargo. Yeah, we love it here. It's been awesome. There's so many nice people. So kind of just really taking advantage of the people in Fargo, and then obviously the facilities and how much this place has grown since I've been here. Just taking advantage of that, and just establishing a really good relationship with these players, man. Because once a Bison, always a Bison.
I was talking with Coach Spack in Sioux Falls at Media Day, and he was still kind of gritting his teeth like, I didn't really want to let him go. Yeah. Describe that time and how much that helped you grow as a coach to be ready to take this job.
Oh, absolutely. I always appreciate Coach Spack at Illinois State. I had a really good time there. I learned a lot. And most importantly, I felt like I had a really good group there. I kind of cultivated it, and, I left them in good hands. So best of luck to them, but can't wait to see them.
Describe, it's one day. I know you brought in a bunch of transfers that you didn't have during spring ball, but is there a way yet to
describe what this running back room is? Or is it
Yeah.
too early yet?
No, these guys, they're gritty, they're explosive, and they're smart. And the effort's always going to be there, man. I'm so proud of the way they come out every day. As far as DJ, he's one of the transfers. He's came in and he's learned the offense. Day one, he was a plug and play guy, so I think he'll be able to help us. And also Cortez is a very smart, respectful kid. And he's probably one of the faster guys in the group, so we'll have to find ways to get him the ball as well. But both those guys are progressing. We're glad that they're here.
Describe your backstory with DJ. I talked with his coach, his high school coach, about your recruitment of him out of high school. Does that connection, when he was available in the portal, was that a no-brainer to call him?
Yeah, in the second round, maybe wasn't as good of player as I would think in my experience. And when his name popped up, there was a connection there, and we kind of went from there. But yeah, that was kind of part of it. I knew of him, and Coach Larson saw some of his tape, and he was kind of impressed in the things that he did, and we kind of clicked there. And from there, it was kind of just rolled downhill.
You've had a chance to see Barika Penu from afar. Now you get a chance to work with him for his last year. What can we expect? What do you want to see out of Barika?
Yeah, I think Barika's primed to have a huge year. He's got a huge chip on his shoulder. He comes out every day ready to work. Every day we're meeting extra about the X's and O's and just little things that he can get better at. But I think BK is going to have a great year. Fire it up for him.
Is there similarities at all with his running style and yours? He's very upright.
Yeah.
That's how you ran too.
Yeah, no, I think he's a little bit more, I would say he's a little bit more flexible as far as position flexibility. He's got really good ball skills. He's really smart. I might be a little bit taller, but he runs extremely hard. There's some similarities there, man, and I really like the kid.
Is there anybody you look at, like, boy, he looks a little like me, like from their running style? Anybody like that on the current?
Not currently. Not currently. Everyone's got their own style.
Tell me about Miles, of being here, what advantage that is that he was here all throughout spring ball. How much of an advantage that get him now in fall camp?
Yeah, I mean, you got to kind of take that by base by base case. I think Miles was one of those guys who was mature enough to do it, and he was able to come in and kind of go through those lumps early in spring ball, and now he'll be able to help us this fall. So I think that was huge for him, and he handled it really well. Excited about Miles.
You went through it playing as a true freshman as well. Is there anything you can give him advice about what to – it's a whole different ball game in college football?
Yeah, no doubt. Really just play fast. Just play fast, play confident, and we'll fix everything else. But he's doing that.
So running back, is that one of the few positions you can come in, not necessarily plug and play, but you can, as a true freshman, come in and help?
I would say so. If you keep things simple, it all depends on what they can handle, right? You won't want to put a third down situation on a freshman, but base downs, and as long as you're getting your tracks and your reads all right and you're playing fast, just go out there and just react. I feel like it's a reactionary position, and you go out there and play fast and do what we brought you here to do.
Working with Coach Polisek again, what is that like? Obviously, him coaching you, and now you're working for him on staff. To describe that.
Yeah, no, it's been a blessing. Coach Polisek, man, he's always seen the best in me, and I've always appreciated the connection and the relationship that we've had. Just the time that we've been back together has been really awesome, and I'm glad to be back here with him.
Is there any chance you could evade LJ or Marcus right now if you still had to?
If I might be able to if I had to. You got to show up on game day, I guess. Got to make a play.
Great stuff there with Sam, a guy I've known for the better part of 15 years. He got here on campus as a wide-eyed freshman and he played as a true freshman in 2009. So I thought he would give some great perspective, and did, on a guy like Miles Mitchell, who I think we're beyond the scope that he's going to play as a true freshman. Something I'm working on for next week, or maybe the week of the opening game, of the amount of impact true freshmen that have played at North Dakota State that are come right to mind. R.J. Urzendowski is one. Billy Turner is another. Nick DeLuca played a bit as a true freshman. Chase Morlock did. Those are the guys that stand out to me. And NDSU is going to have a couple this year. We were talking about it yesterday. Sam Getzinger and I were on the true freshmen. They're going to get out there and play this year for the 25 team. But the running back room in itself, when Barika's poised to have a monster year. Really interested to see what the West Fargo Cheyenne product has. I think DJ Scott, who you're going to hear from next week on our newscast, transfer from Kennesaw State. You saw a little bit of his highlights during the interview with Sam. Bigger guy, can move though. That it seemed like he's picked things up right away and took off with it. He's really stood out to me during fall camp practices than we've been able to go to. That's the guy to keep an eye on. Mitchell's in the mix. Owen Johnson is there. I think those are the top four. I'm intrigued to see where Cortez LeGrant works his way in. Charles Ross is another true freshman that they like. That seems to be the running backs right now. I know Brady Wadrick's there. Barry Pennu's there. That's the list of backs that are on the Bison football roster. But that's a solid top four. I mean, and what Tim Polisic said, we played that last week, thinks this running back room will be better and deeper than what they had a year ago. And now they had the freshman of the year last year. They had Barica. They had TK Marshall, who was really good in his role, and TK did a bunch of everything, including special teams in 2024. That's eye-opening. When you say that, like, okay, then that much talent is, and Scott's got it. I think Owen Johnson is underrated, and I might be the one doing the underrating on that. Just we haven't seen Owen play in 18 months, but that early part of the first half of the 2023 season, he was just starting to blossom there. He had played a bit in Eastern Washington game at US Bank Stadium. I think he got his first touchdown against Maine the following week. Central Arkansas, he got out there. I think the week prior to him getting hurt, when we were in Missouri, we were at Mo State, he had a big run there. That was the kind of run that he was hoping to have. And then obviously he had the devastating injury that took him out not only for the rest of 23, all of 2024. But Mankato kid's got some high hopes for 2025 to be out there and be an impact guy for the Bison at the running back spot. Just something to keep our eyes on as we are now officially 15 days out from the kickoff at the Citadel. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll get you ready. We got a great sports weekend on tap. We'll do that and say goodbye on Hot Mic on WDAY Extra. Right